This is Gratu Orloff. I've been digging through boxes and boxes of my collection, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling out any Silver Age and before comic, and then I'm filing them separately in other boxes. What I want to do is create a separate collection that is made up of nothing but comics 1971 and before, so it looks like a vintage collection of some kid from that era. And it was a stupid move instead of just keeping everything alphabetical, but it's created a lot of work. But it's allowed me to remember what I actually own, so I'm not buying things again. And then I've discovered that I own some pretty cool things, although my collection's not world class like some of the ones I see on YouTube. But anyway, I watched the last video I did in the theater room, and I sat back, just talking really slowly, and I kind of I need to talk a little quicker because it's like watching a Biden speech, and maybe I could be a little more energized. Maybe I need to take some vitamins. I need to lose a lot of weight. I'm starting to get hard just to walk around. So this quarantine has done a number on me. Oh, well, let's see what I've got. Well, here's an important key issue. I'm just kidding. Lois Lane, Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 64. These purple covers, when you get older, it gets harder and harder to read the numbers, the issue numbers, because the black ink on purple. And I have 2 copies of it. Well, so that allows me to know maybe I don't need to buy another copy of that issue. This is number 59. I need to bag and board it. I just went to Cosmic Comics yesterday and got some more supplies, including some more boxes, because some of my boxes are so old they're turning brown. That can't be a good thing. This wonderful issue of Lois Lane I've always loved. It shows all of Superman's girlfriends. Notice they all start, their names all start with L. You've got it says Lana Superman. It's Lana Lang. So apparently they've all married him at some point. You've got Lois Lane, and you've got Lorraine Ramirez, who was the mermaid. Those are the 3 main loves of his life, and of course, his main villain, Lex Luthor. Also, his name has 2 L's, and then of course, Superman's real last name is L, E-L, and I was told by my wife that that has some meaning. L in Judaism, and the 2 teenagers that created Superman in the late 30s were Jewish, and so apparently they were listening in the synagogue and picked that up, and it's something having to do with God or Elohim or some. I'm not a biblical expert, but it's some. And see, I've got another copy of it, and see, this one I know I have 3 copies just because I love the cover. I like this era. No, okay, there's one, number 44. Not in very good shape. I need to rebag it, but okay, this is a great cover, number 29, where the Justice League's waiting in line to kiss Lois. And the ad on the back is pretty cool too. 100 toy soldiers. Yeah. The irresistible Lois Lane. Maybe I should sit up closer to this freaking camera. Okay. This is a tremendous cover. Yeah, and this artwork, I love it. I love the um, because it's realistic, but it also has a whimsical quality to it. So it becomes more like the the original Captain Marvel art, or some of the artists that I love the most, like Marie Severin, has that quality to her art. Uh, I was just thinking, I used to really love Richard Corbin's art too. I mean, really dearly love it. Um, Here's where Lois Lane is putting on the costume of the original Batwoman, not the one that's on television now. Um, okay, so this is when Kirby came over to work at DC, and it's all Kirby art, except you can tell the face was redrawn because DC didn't like how Kirby drew Superman's face, so they got, I don't know, someone like Kurt Swan to redraw it, which, and this is not in the best shape, but I certainly need to bag and board it. Apparently it's a pretty valuable issue because it's the first appearance of Darkseid. I had no idea of that until I heard someone doing a video on first appearances last night on YouTube. It's certainly got this wonderful 2-page spread. Let's see, where does Darkseid appear in this? Yeah, it is really jarring. All through the comic, they redraw Superman's face, and it's just a weird mixture of art styles. Yeah, gotta get that bagged and boarded. And then I love these giant-sized issues. You know, so they don't have many red-haired people on television. Whenever there's a red-haired character, like in Smallville, they got to play Lana Lang. They got like a Hawaiian girl to play her, and Jimmy Olsen looks a little bit different. Also on the Supergirl show, doesn't have red hair. I don't know. Is there discrimination against people with red hair? I don't know. Nice Aurora cover. This isn't in great shape, but another Jimmy Olsen. Needs to be bagged and boarded very badly. Yes, this is from Half Price Books. The first thing I see is the Aurora cover. When The Bride of Frankenstein and the Witch kit came out. And then the cover as mentions the Beatles and Elvis. So these are wonderful historical artifacts. And of course, I have to wind up with 2 copies of that just because, you know, I love rock and roll and I love comic books. So something like that's going to attract my attention over the decades, and I don't realize I already own it. And then I wind up buying it 2 or 3 times, which is starting to become a pattern I'm noticing. And of course, another Beatle reference. And the back $1, you can get 100 nights, which is amazing. Man, I'm just liking the back covers. But this cover is insane, and I love the DC Insanity. But what Marvel was doing at the same time period was even more incredible. But I don't know. This is pretty freaking incredible stuff. Some people don't like it. I like it. patriotic cover here. I guess I should be reading issue numbers, but that one is number 42. Okay, here's a Superman Annual, number 7. See, Aurora did a lot of advertising with DC. And Aurora was in Hempstead, New York. This is Superman Annual number 5. See, more Aurora. Oh, this is technically Bronze Age 70s, but I think I was telling you anything. I'm going to still count this as Silver Age and file it with Silver Age when they went to 52 pages for 25 cents. When they switched back to regular size and went to 20 cents, that's when I'm going to, as far as the way I'm organizing my boxes, I'm going to say that's when the Bronze Age began, which is not true, but it just makes it easy for me. So this is that era where DC tried to lure readers with more pages. And oh, here's a comic I love. It's a real, it's from Harvey, and it's a very psychedelic Archie type comic. She's hip, she's mod, she's boss. I have a bunch of those. They must be filed somewhere else. This is a tremendous cover. The light is bright. Bugs Bunny on Vacation. Understand they brought back Warner Brothers cartoons somewhere, and they don't let Elmer Fudd have his gun anymore, which when I heard that they're that kind of cartoon, I lost interest. Bobby Benson's B-Barbie Riders. Now, this is more 50s with a tremendous cover. 50s, which used to be called the Golden Age, but now I think there's a new classification for 50s comics, Atomic Age, which I like. So I'm gonna go with that. Blackhawk. These used to be basically worthless. When I was first starting to collect comics, Blackhawks were like the comics that would be in the bargain bin. I remember picking up a lot of Blackhawks in the long boxes in the warehouse behind Lone Star Comics back in the early days when they would have warehouse sales a few times a year. And because you could get them so cheap, you know, and it was a Silver Age comic, and it was, I love looking at the ads and everything. Mucho new, very nuevo. Oh, I see. It's his new friend from South America. Interesting. Now, 10 cents, so we're moving back into the 50s, basically. We're very early 60s. Comics, there was a guy, had thousands of views. He had a video about first appearance comics, and he was showing, and this guy has a lot of good stuff. He was showing off his amazing Spider-Man #1, stuff I don't have, but he had gotten Magnus Robot Fighter #1, and he got it because I guess he was reading when they revived Magnus, in the 90s. Was it done by Valiant? Anyway, he must have read that, and so he wanted to get this first issue of the original run, and he's looking at it and he's saying, I guess this is from the 60s. And well, you know, he was on camera and he was on the spot. But yeah, anything 12 cent, just for those of you learning about comics. Comics went to 12 cents about 1961 and went to 15 cents, was it 69? So if it says 12 cents, you know it's in the 60s. If it's 10 cents, it's probably 50s and before. Blackhawk, this is another 10-cent issue. This is number 151. I love this cover. Now, this is interesting. It's a comic called Big Hero Adventures, starring Jigsaw, a man of 1,000 parts. An interesting hero. Wow. Nice condition. Yeah, Harvey tried to do heroes for a while. Everybody did. This is terrible condition. It was issue 205. There's a it's Batman 208, which is an 80-page giant. Archie is okay. Well, this is. Let me pull more. So I'll stay with what I'm doing. Superman 248. Nice ad on the back for the Aurora torture model kits. Superman in Hell. This is a tremendous giant-sized issue. Krypton lives again in these mighty tales. Yeah, every issue has some kind of Aurora ad on the back. That must have been one of DC's big accounts. Well, here it's Hot Wheels. That might be something to do, is instead of showing front covers, just show back covers of comics. And to me, that would be just as entertaining. This is Superman All Kryptonite issue. And it looks like I bought it twice, not knowing I owned it before. Well, look at this back cover. When they started making their model kits glow. And they really glowed. They would light up a room. So I don't know what radioactive material they were using back then. But toys, when they glowed in the 60s, they really glowed. Like, you ever see a Hasbro Kooky Spooky little ghost finger puppet? Those things, I have 2 of them from when I was a kid. Those things glow and put out a weird green glow that... when things, you know, there's something to investigate there. Oh, hold on. Still more Superman. And this is in addition to the Supermans that are already filed in my Silver Age collection. So I've got to put them all together today, bag and board, and then I'll really know the significance of the collection. Now, I think I bought this one more than once too, because I just love Bizarro, and an all Bizarro issue has to be irresistible. Yeah. The other ones I think are in my others. This is a tremendous cover. Kind of reminds me of the last few months. Everybody in quarantine, shut off from the world. but it's caused me to do more videos. I've got to figure out how to get more subscribers. Still, I have 43 subscribers. I think I got a couple more recently, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be putting hashtags underneath things, or if it's what I put in the title. I got a nasty message the other day about when I did a video where I went into a Christmas store around Christmas time. Yeah, it was actually way before Christmas, but I videotaped, and I was purposely moving the camera around in crazy ways, just having fun. And someone named Raul sent me a message. You do not know how to do videos. Do not do them. I was like, okay, well, I was just having fun. Then I looked at his account. He had never done a video. Oh, well. Can't be, I guess, overly sensitive when you're doing YouTube. There's lots of trolls out there, but I see, it's like I watch other people doing videos, and they've got thousands of subscribers, and so they get to go live. I'm thinking, how do I do that? It might just be my boring Joe Biden way of talking that's causing people to become very bored. This is a great ad for the gigantic Frankenstein Aurora model kit. And the back cover is better than the front cover. Although I love the front cover. I'm not knocking it. I'm just like fascinated with the Aurora ads. Okay. More Superman. Oh, here's some Sugar and Spike coming up. Alright. I'm pretty sure I bought this one more than once. Crypto always reminds me of my little beagle named Daisy that passed away a few years ago. Really miss her. She was all white in her later years. She originally had some brown spots. Okay, so I've got a couple. When I see Bizarro issues, you know, I just see I actually only have 2 copies of it. Okay, and I've got some. Okay, here's another quarantine kind of cover. This used to be a lot more entertaining before. Oh, I see, I got it twice before the wonderful Wuhan stuff hit. Okay, look at this. It's Jerry Anderson's supercar. And of course, this was in the era where Gold Key would give you the full painting on the back cover. Sugar and Spike. That's from the Jeffrey Epstein collection. Sugar and Spike. More Sugar and Spike. Boy, do I love that comic book. It's just really good. It's really good. Okay. Adam Strange Adventures. It was originally Strange Adventures. They changed the name briefly because Adam Strange was the star at that time. Earlier issue, it was Deadman starring in Strange Tales. And this is a Neal Adams cover, obviously. I don't think you need to be told that. This one isn't in great shape, but it's also Neal Adams. More Jerry Anderson. Fireball XL5. Tremendous cover. Tremendous. And Star Spangled War. The Unknown Soldier. I always thought when Sam Raimi made his first superhero movie, Darkman, which was an original hero. I kind of thought it was somewhat based on the Unknown Soldier guy that puts on. This is interesting. There's a lot of comics with this provenance that I've found at Duncanville Books in Duncanville. Man, it has the name of the kid that owns it. Friday, 11/20/1959. His name is Steve Norman. Oh, okay. And it has his address, 44 Park Drive. So he was not wanting to lose this issue. Looks like it was written by a parent. More wonderful Gold Key art. And that's how I used to do this back in the 80s. I would get the numbers from a VHS cassette sticker label, and I would put them together, and then I'd tape it on, because Gold Keys don't have their numbers on the front. You have to open them up. And here's another one. It was originally called Space Family Robinson. Basically, Irwin Allen bought the rights to this comic book and changed it up quite a bit. So it's basically the only thing it has in common with the TV show is that it's a family. There's a little redheaded boy, but there is no Dr. Smith. There's no robot. The spaceship looks different. It's really, and it's the same last name, Robinson. But so Gold Key kept doing the comic. They just added Lost in Space to the title, but it was originally called, Space Family Robinson. But this is the inspiration for the TV show. And these are not in order, obviously, but look at this ad. Yeah. The character, when you got the soldiers, they were little flat guys. They weren't even three-dimensional, but my brother ordered the Civil War playset, and it was a little plastic vinyl tablecloth about this big, and it had an exploding bridge that had a little rubber band, and I think I may still have some of the little guys from it, and maybe one of the exploding bridges. I'll have to look around. But it can't, you order 100 soldiers and it comes in a box about that big. It's kind of underwhelming. More Space Family Robinson. They always had great covers, painted covers on Gold Key. Sometimes the art inside would be great, and sometimes it was just, it's okay art, but it's not as good as the cover. The covers look like old pulps. This is an attempt to revive The Shadow by Archie Comics. I think it lasted a few issues, but The Shadow is a costume superhero. That's strange. So this first issue is more looks like he would have in the old pulps and on the radio series. But look at this on the back. Since this isn't bagged, it might be worth looking. Oh, here's a full page ad. You don't see full page versions of this ad very often for the submarine. Usually they're half page ads. That's great. Some Sergeant Furies. Let me make a little transfer here. Okay, more Sergeant Fury. I probably need to go a little quicker because I don't think anyone's going to sit through this video. Okay, so that's 69, 68. And then down to 52. I've got a lot more in another box. 51. 44. See how much, they did a good job. Samuel L. Jackson looks exactly like him These are the Marvel Aurora kits. See, Aurora was advertising both companies. Here's number 27. Oh, the origin of his eye patch, which I'm sure is very different from what they may have told you in the Captain Marvel movie. This is not real, although it looks real. It even, has the 12-cent. You look in the back, obviously that is not a 60s ad. This was, then the, it's got modern comic ads. Modern, I don't know when this was printed, in the 90s maybe. It's got all this Michael Jordan kind of bullshit. All this hip extreme bullshit. It's like that bicycle ad I just showed you compared to this idiot with the bicycle. I mean, which era would you want to live in? The 60s or, man, it says copyright 1964, but then it says second printing. Yeah, no shit, it's a second printing. But it's nice, it's fun to read. You put it in a spinner rack, it looks really good. Those reproduction comics, they sold them in sets, and there was a Fantastic Four reprint, a Thor reprint. I've got a bunch of them, but you don't feel bad putting them in a spinner rack. This is a Sad Sack comic. Man, they got a ton of Sad Sack comics in about 10 years ago or more at Cosmic Comics in Grand Prairie. I was just there yesterday. They still have them. I picked up some of them, but maybe I should go get more, because you don't ever see them anywhere. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Sad Sack comic? You forget it even existed. Rip Hunter, Time Master. They sure were around a lot when I was a kid, Sad Sack, especially on the military bases. I bought a lot of comics on military bases at PXs because my dad was in the Army. And yes, the little star stamps are put there when you bought a comic at the PX. I saw the ladies stamp my own comics, so I'll confirm. I've seen people arguing about it. Maybe it's just some kid that had a stamp set and he's stamping his comics. Is this a great cover or not? No, it was actually done just to show that you paid for it. Richie Rich. No one's made the Donald Trump connection with Richie Rich. But a lot of people have pointed out, I think it was even on The Simpsons, what I used to think when I was a kid, it was that Casper is just Richie Rich dead. But, because, you see, Richie Rich dies, maybe in this skiing accident, and becomes Casper. Because maybe Casper is his middle name. Here's a Golden Age, possibly Atomic Age, if you want to call it that. Ooh, look at that. Cracker Jacks, Magnetic Car. Again, Real Screen Comics, Fox and Crow. Ooh, Mighty Hercules. Tremendous theme song. He was really drawn to look like Superman. The guy that sang the Mighty Hercules theme song, Johnny Nash, also did the song, had a big hit later, about 10 years later, with that song, I Can See Clearly Now, which I realize now in retrospect is probably the first reggae song I ever heard. But I didn't know it was reggae at the time, but I sure do love that song. People make fun of the music of the 70s, but now people don't laugh as much when they hear the shit coming out today. Again, the ads on the back fascinate me, but then, my first major in college was advertising, so I just, especially this time period, I love the style. I mean, just look at those heads. It's just great. Oh, more BB gun action. Wow. Okay, moving into Magnus Robot Fighter, which, well, these, actually, this is a Silver Age issue. Sorry, no, I said Bronze Age because it's 25 cents. So it's actually a reprint of a Silver Age issue. All right, I'll count this since it's 15 cents as Silver Age, and I'll put it in this box. Apparently this is issue 28 because I did that with my little VHS numbers. And this is 18. What a tremendous cover. These have been reprinted, but you know, the reprints never look as good as the originals, and sometimes they do, but a lot of times they get the colors wrong. This is a reprint of the origin of Magnus. These used to be really affordable. I don't know, I haven't looked to see what they're worth now. This must be issue 4. Yeah, it's that earlier period when they, and here they have some great Russ Manning art on the back, which would make a great poster. If you took some of these old comics to Kinko's, or whatever they call Kinko's now, you could make nice posters with some of them. What issue is this? It's number, man, I need my reading glasses. I think it says 19. Readers would send in pictures of robots, and I think sometimes they'd use them in the plots. You can get a walkie-talkie set or a portable radio. Okay, Man from U.N.C.L.E. More Man from U.N.C.L.E. Oh, I love this cover. It's about to shove a bayonet in a guy's throat. That's, you know, those are spinner racks that say, hey kids, comics, this is what you need to have on the top tier right below those words. And that's what I like to do, at least. Fill them with EC reprints and stuff. Alright, moving into some Archie. Archie comics. There's the covers where music's being played in some way, either a band or record players. Then there's the beach covers, and then there's the covers where there's their Christmas covers. So a lot of times they're either, or the car cover. There's all kinds of great images. This is like a mad kind of humor comic. Lucy, the Real Gone Gal. This is not in good shape, but this is anything. Be careful with this. I mean, they think full-grown women are what reading this, and who knows? Maybe they were from that era. And that's the back of Looney Tunes. Sorry. Looks like some kind of Marina Abramovich kind of ritual. Hi-yo, Silver! I guess I filed this under L for Lone Ranger instead of H. Let's see, what is the actual title of this comic? The Lone Ranger's famous horse, Hi-yo, Silver. So technically this would be filed under L, which makes sense. Good grief, Jeannie. Oh, but I love Little Monsters. This has got water damage. But it's Little Monsters. Little Dot. Great cover, but it apparently someone was confused as to what to charge for this at a garage sale at some point in its history. Some kind of kid writing is charming, and sometimes it's just obnoxious. Little Audrey and Melvin. July 27th, 1965 says the date stamp. I was about 3 months old when this comic came out, so I did not buy it off the rack. Little Archie is, those that know that Little Archie is amazing. That now you know, if you didn't already know. Life with Archie sometimes got into weird stuff, I should say, like Satanism, which is strange. But now Archie comics, they're meeting up with Vampirella and Red Sonja and all kinds of horrible. I mean, they're meeting up with I don't know if it's a bootleg. I think I saw one where they were at Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th. So they're kind of desperate to sell issues over there now. The Dingalings. Never owned any of those. I've seen commercials for the Dingalings on commercial collections. I'm sure you can see them on YouTube. By the way, look at that. Amazing. There was a discussion video I was watching, and oh yeah, Night Tiger Comics. I love Night Tiger Comics. He always says nice things on my Instagram. You could look at my Instagram. It's Gratu Orloff. But he was looking at a G.I. Joe comic from Marvel, and they were saying that was the first comic that ever had a TV commercial. And I was thinking, that may be true. But later I realized there was a gigantic, much bigger than a Treasury Edition comic that came out in the 60s from Wham-O, the company that put out the Hula Hoop and the Water Wiggle and all that. It was called Giant Comics, or Wham-O Giant Comics. There were two, you can see them on YouTube. There were two commercials for that giant comic. So I think that may have been the first, comic book advertisement on television. But I don't know. And then, of course, the Archies became huge. In 1969, the song Sugar Sugar was the #1 song for the whole year. People don't realize that. I mean, it really is. I mean, honestly, it really is a good song. You gotta admit. Or maybe you don't. Here's another copy of this. Look at this nightclub. They're playing in here with the flames. Wow. I love these old 60s. Oh, okay. They're in the snow. Either they're in the snow, or they're on the beach, or they're listening to or performing music. And here, I proved myself wrong. Here they're trying out the new styles of 1930s looking clothes, or